If history repeats, we could see a massive move for Bitcoin, and in this video we're also going to cover the most important levels of support and resistance, this Bitcoin semi gap, this historical pattern, the Bitcoin versus gold chart, where we are likely to find a bounce, and so many more interesting things. So if this sounds interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. So first of all, Bitcoin is trading around 108,000, and yesterday we got reacted at this very important line of resistance around 111,000, and now we are dumping currently. And I do think we could find a bounce from this level of support between 105 and 100,000, and then we could also fill the wick before continuing higher. And then the most important levels of resistance is the 110.6 and then 113.4. So these levels will be very important to reclaim before seeing higher prices. And we have a semi gap at around 107.2, so I think it's likely we come down to fill the semi gap before continuing higher. And if we take a look at this historical pattern, the price action during the last couple of weeks and months here is similar to what we saw in 2024 during this consolidation phase. And what we have seen over here, this liquidation event, is similar to the liquidation event over here. So what we could see now, if history repeats, is a consolidation phase before breaking out towards the end of the year to new all-time highs. And in my opinion, it's still likely to come down even lower, because we could argue that what we are seeing right here is what happened over here, and then we went up, and then we went even lower before entering higher prices. So we could see one final dump lower here before seeing higher prices. So that's still a possible scenario. And if we take a look at this chart, we are currently trading at support here, so I'm expecting a bounce from here, and if we can break above the resistance here, we could see a massive pump for Bitcoin, and then we would have a massive target, and this could send, of course, Bitcoin way higher in the short term. And I also think we could see a bounce from the 54 SMA and the 50 weekly simple moving average over here, and that would be also around the 102,000 area. So that's exactly where the support is over here. So if we can bounce from here, then I think we could see higher prices, because previously we can see a bounce over here and also over here. So this would be the perfect Bitcoin bounce, in my opinion, to come down there before entering higher prices. However, as I told you earlier, if we break below, that would be a very bearish sign, because in last cycle we break below, we came up to confirm the breakdown before entering into a bear market. So if that would happen again, I would of course turn bearish. And if we take a look over here, we had this downward sloping resistance line we broke above, so we could also come down to retest previous resistance into new support, also around the 100,000 area before entering higher prices. And this is the most important chart of today. So if we take a look at the gold price in 2020, or actually from 2018 here, we saw a massive pump and then a blow off top here in August 2020. And after that, Bitcoin started its rally to massive new all-time highs over here. So capital was rotating from gold to Bitcoin, and if that happens right now again, we could see a massive pump for Bitcoin, because gold is absolutely exploding, as you can see over here. And yesterday we also went to the upside. And in my opinion, it seems likely we see a capital rotation from gold into Bitcoin, and that could send Bitcoin way higher, because the amount of capital that has been going into gold is absolutely insane. And if some of that capital goes into Bitcoin, we could see way higher prices, because the market cap of a Bitcoin is much lower than gold. So even if a low percentage of the capital that has been going into gold rotates into Bitcoin, we could see new all-time highs very soon for Bitcoin. That's what I think could happen. So I think Bitcoin could lead the way here in the coming months towards the end of the year. And the S&P 500 was also going higher yesterday, absolutely exploding to the upside. And we have been following the S&P 500 here. So the correlation between the US stock market and Bitcoin is very high. And right now we are seeing a decoupling, but we could also see that over here, and we're over here, and every single time we have been catching back up. So I think that could happen again. So I catch back with the US stock market, and that could send the Bitcoin way higher. And I also want to point out this rising wedge that we have on Bitcoin. This is of course a bearish pattern. However, if we break to the upside here, the resistance, we could see way higher prices, and global empty money supply is actually indicating higher prices here for Bitcoin. And we have been following global empty money supply with a high correlation. So if that correlation continues, we could see a break above the resistance here and new all-time highs for Bitcoin. So that scenario is still in play, in my opinion. If we take a look at the liquidation heat map, we have most of the liquidity sitting above us. So that could indicate higher prices, so we grab the liquidity. But I still think it's possible we grab some downside liquidity before going higher for Bitcoin. But I do think it's inevitable that we're going to grab this liquidity. So I at least think we could see a bounce to 117,000 to grab this liquidity. And if we take a look at the bull market peak indicators, 0 out of 30 have been triggered, which is obviously very bullish in my opinion. So I do think Bitcoin still have room to run, and we can see and look at the progress here. Most of them aren't even close to 100%. For example, over here, 33, 13. Some are at 90, 80 approximately, so getting closer on some of them. But in my opinion, we haven't topped out yet, unless at least some of these have triggered. So this is, of course, a very bullish sign for Bitcoin. And if we take a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow, we had 40.4 million in outflows yesterday, so we are continuing to see the outflows. So that's, of course, bearish for Bitcoin. But most likely inevitable, we are going to see inflows again once Bitcoin goes higher. That's what I think could happen. And if we take a look at the price of ETH, we are trading at 3.9, and we have support between 3.3 and 3.6. So this could act as major support for Ethereum. And then we could also fill this wick before continuing higher. I think that's a likely scenario. And then the most important level of resistance would be the 4.1k over here. If we can reclaim that, would be very bullish, and also 4,250. And then, of course, the all-time high levels over here will be very important for Ethereum. If we can break a new all-time high here, I think Ethereum could reach way higher prices this bull cycle. And don't forget to drop your thoughts down below what you think could happen for Ethereum. And if you want to trade yourself, you can check out Weeks, and right now you can get 100% position airdrop boost. So you can also link your phone number and email to get 10 to 100 coupon. And you can also get this Ethereum position airdrop, and you can also trade and complete futures trading tasks to earn up to 19,900 USDT. So that's absolutely insane in my opinion. And overall, I'm bullish for the next couple of months and weeks here for Bitcoin. So if capital starts to rotate from gold into Bitcoin, we could see way higher prices here. And I think we could find a bounce here from the 54 SMA and the 50 weekly simple moving average. And I also think this pattern could repeat again for Bitcoin, and that could send Bitcoin way higher. But don't forget to drop your thoughts down below, and thank you so much for watching. See you tomorrow morning. Bye bye.